Hey, how you guys doing? I had a crappy night's sleep. Like every single little noise had me jumping out of my skin. But you know what? I'm here. And before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and get everything ready. And you know I need coffee, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's just put the kettle on. I think it's 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's just make sure there's water in here. Yeah, there's water in here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but how you guys doing? Morning. Oh, guys, the reason why I'm not using my live 2D models in this because we don't want fur in our food. So, we have to be in our human form for this, okay? Okay. So we have very practical. What do you mean very practical? No bear fur in the food. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. I got you. I got you. Now I know what you mean. Now I know what you mean. Okay, I'm just getting everything ready. Mm. Guys, we are breaking out everything today by the looks of things. Okay. Guys, when I say we are breaking out every single ingredient, we are breaking out every single ingredient. Woo. I'm going to show you everything we need now. Oh, okay. Now, I just want to see something real quick. Okay. So, yeah, guys, we are Yeah, done, done, done. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I forgot to bring out the butter, and I'm just missing one more ingredient. And I'm back. Now, guys, I'm going to show you every single ingredient we are going to need. I just want to see something. Okay, guys, there is something that I'm going to show you on stream. I just need to. Okay. Sweet. And now we can hop into gaming. Oh my word, I didn't even have to set my camera up or anything like that. That was done. Guys, do you have any idea how grateful I am? I didn't have to go into my camera settings. I didn't have to fit around with it. Like everything is just there. Wow. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is all the ingredients we're gonna need. So we're gonna need butter. We are gonna need let's just go down the list. Okay, so where's my onion? There we go. We're gonna need an onion freshly diced, so that's gonna be fun. Then we need red pepper. So I got a mixtures of pepper here that I'm gonna just dice up. I'm gonna put a little bit of red, yellow, and green in it. So we got some fresh pepper. Then we have bacon, which I need to defrost, but I'm waiting for the kettle to boil so I can also make myself some coffee. But we got bacon. Um, will I be using all of it? Maybe, I'm not sure, but we got bacon. Okay. Then we need milk. Now I'm using fresh milk. So we got milk. And I think once we've opened up that milk, we can use that milk for the rest of the day, just so it doesn't, go off. But yeah, we got fresh milk. Then we need 5 eggs, which we got over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test to see if these eggs are still good. Because yesterday when I was having problems with the poached eggs, I'm a bit wary about these eggs now. So yeah, then obviously we need salt and pepper, parsley, fresh parsley, by the way. And then on top of the fresh parsley, we need grated parmesan and mozzarella. So we are cracking out all the ingredients today. Well, not all the ingredients, but most of the ingredients today. So I'm gonna go ahead, put all these ingredients back here so you guys can see. And then we'll break out our chopping equipment for the onion just now. I need to wear goggles or something because after yesterday with my eyes, that was not fun, guys. That was horrible. And then our pepper. I think I'm gonna put the pepper here and I'm gonna leave the bacon here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna test the eggs real quick. So I'm just gonna tilt this a bit more so you guys can see and maybe move the camera back a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna put the eggs in the water. Okay, that egg is still good. We can use it. And then because I don't want to get water all over the counter, I've got an extra bowl put aside here to put the eggs in. Okay, this egg is also still good. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, is it on its side or? Okay, I see. Well, good, you can eat it, but it means eat it soon. So, that's a good thing we're testing the eggs now. And I think this one also means eat it soon. Because if it's floating like this, okay, but it's still on the bottom, it means like eat it soon. If it's flat like this, it's fresh. And if it's a little bit skew like that, it means it's still good. So far it means eat soon, so far. So let's go ahead and test this one. Okay, this one is still good. And then the last one. This one means eat soon. So there's three eggs here that means eat soon, and two eggs that are still good. So yeah. So if you guys ever want to test out your eggs, there you have it. I'll most probably post a diagram or something in Twitter or something. But there's our eggs. Look how glistening it is. Look how it's glistening. You know? Shall we name all the eggs Gudatama? Oh. Okay, so let's do my least favorite part first, and that's chopping up the onions. What do you mean until they are Narayan? Until they are Baratama. Really? Really? Okay, guys, just keep in mind, I'm no chef. I don't know how to chop an onion finely. I just normally chop the onion however. It ruined my joke. Yeah, guys, I'm not really gonna chop onions. I'm just gonna put it in the thingy and chop it like that. Jamie taught you recently. Oh, nice. I did say, oh, nice. Okay, guys, the kettle is fighting with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch that off. I don't know if you guys can hear the kettle. Sorry, guys, the milk was like sitting on all the plugs. Am I going to YouTube how to chop an onion? No. I like chopping an onion like this because this way I don't cry or my eyes don't burn. So I'll always chop onions like this. I don't know. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Okay. So that's done. And what I'm gonna do is yeah, I get it. I get it. Guys, this mug is so old. I've had this mug since forever. I think my mom got me this mug. Oh, wow. Good for him. I'm not going to be cutting onions every single day just to, get my tear ducts to stop working. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. No, thank you. And since you're already going to be cracking open the milk for mm, oh, that tastes so good. We're going to go ahead and pour that in. They work. He doesn't sweep anymore. Okay, so the onions stopped bullying your cousin. Good for him. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, but you're not hearing me. I am not gonna buy onions, 3 years worth of onions, to chop up every single day just to stop. No, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm good. We're not gonna do that. If I have to wear s- snorkel goggles in the kitchen when cutting up onions, I will. I do have a snorkel gear, guys. I really do. I will put that on. And I will look ridiculous. Do I care? No. No. Do I need to get snorkel goggles assets for my VTuber now? For every single time I cut onions? It's not funny. Hold on, guys. I've got an idea, okay? I got an idea. It's a thing now. I'm making it a thing. I'm making it a thing because I know if Froyo were here, if Nibble were here, they would be like, yes, and I'll be like, no. So now it's a thing. It's just gonna take me a while to set up because I need to find it. There it is. Okay, now I need to go into streaming, free layouts. You guys are gonna see how I set this up now. And I just need to make this a bit bigger, so I'm gonna go scale. Yeah, I think that's fine. Position. There we go. That's basically how I look when I cut up onions. There we go. Until I'm done working with onions, I'm gonna have this on. Okay, guys. There we go. There's your. There we go, guys. This is how I legitimately look when I'm cutting onions. I'm like, ah, I can't see a thing. Wait. We need to move it closer to the face. It's too far from the face. Hold on. Yeah, it's too far from the face. Look how far from the face that is. There we go, guys. We got goggles on. We got goggles on. This is just until we are done with onions, okay? We found goggles for the onions. So funny. I made it a thing now. It's a thing, okay? realize I have to go ahead and like get rid of all these sound alerts on YouTube just so that I don't get copyright. It's fine. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm just letting you guys know. I wish there was a way for like I don't know how to separate the sounds so you guys can still play it and then when I upload my streams to YouTube, it's not an issue. These are my onion cutting glasses, guys. Okay, so now we are breaking out the peppers. Pepper! And I think I'm gonna chop all of them up. Ooh, not all of them. The red, the green, and the yellow. Look how tiny this green one is. It's so cute. It's so cute. Ah, it's your baby. Look at your baby. But already, and I haven't even seen it yet. Oh my word. Okay. Good for the diner. Good for the diner. I don't know if I'm cutting this pepper upright, but I have seen this where they like cut it open on the sides and then they kind of like roll out the pepper. Oh my word, that was like the easiest I've ever gotten rid of all these seeds. Like the easiest. Well, most of these seeds basically. Yes, I am using this for peppers as well because I don't think peppers and onions are gonna help the whole stinging eye situation either. I think like the peppers just aggravates the onions already, so there's that, guys. I'm sorry if I'm bumping the camera a lot. It's kind of like in front of me and I'm kind of like leaning over it. What do you mean you made Jamie cry? Even that to teach him. Mumsy. I just tried something different and it worked, okay? Like that's it. That's it. Oh my word. Can this camera please like just chill, you know? So we are just gonna finally chop this up, and I know I'm chopping this up quite slow. Guys, I am not a chef, okay? I do not know how to chop things up fast. Okay, this is the speed you're gonna get. I don't care. I'm trying to grab as much as possible so I can just cut most of it. Ah, okay, there we go. That is cut. I think I'm just gonna put all the chopped stuff, the chopped peppers in the jug here, because then that way um I've got space to cut up the red and yellow. Okay, so there's all the seeds and stuff. Like guys, it's great. I love it. Okay, you say he asked you where you've been all his life? I'm confused. I think Jamie would get irritated with me if I was cutting this slow in his kitchen. Just saying. This is so great. And all you have to do is just like that. And look at that. No seeds. Well, not no seeds, but most of the seeds are out. He's a teacher, so he would be like, it's not a dance. Here, score, then cut. Okay. I'll just be like, okay, I'm gonna cut at my own pace. But I'm kind of getting irritated with how slow I'm cutting right now, so I'm gonna try and speed this up. Your next appointment's on the 20th. Sorry, guys, I was just like, oh my word, can you stop falling over so I can see where I'm cutting? Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. Cut. That is a lot of pepper. I don't think I'm gonna use it all because I mean the yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If you guys hear my gran, I do apologize. She's just talking to somebody. I don't know who she's talking to, but she's talking about things that she's been through. Okay, I'm cutting a little bit faster. That's a good thing. I'm cutting a little bit faster. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be enough for the red. So I think for whatever next I'm making, I will use red and green because this is full. So yeah, I think I'm going to put the red in the fridge as well, and we can have that with tonight's supper or whatever the case may be. I think it would have been nice to have red in here as well, but unfortunately there's not enough space. So that goes in the fridge and then that can be used tonight or tomorrow. Okay, the bacon has been defrosted. So there we go. I need coffee now. Thank you, Mumsy. Okay, so let's see what this recipe says to do next. Guys, we are still busy with onions. I have not opened this up yet. I have not put it on the stove yet, so the tears are coming. I hope not. Okay, preheat oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we melt the butter over low heat in a medium oven-proof frying pan. Okay. Add the onion, red pepper, and saute over medium heat. Okay, so this is an oven dish. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, I know the recipe says to use a frying pan, but I'm going to go ahead and use a Pyrex dish indeed. Because we do not have a frying pan that's big enough, A, and B, I am not sure the frying pan that we do have that is big enough is gonna be oven proof. So we're just gonna go ahead and use a frying a Pyrex dish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a tablespoon of butter and I'm gonna put it in here. So we're gonna go ahead, let that melt in the oven so we can spread it around evenly. I'm gonna throw the onions in, saute it afterwards, and then take it back out again, throw in the peppers, and then etc. 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 So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm gonna leave my headphones off for a bit because I'm gonna be running up and down, but hopefully you guys can hear me clearly without any issues. Just let me know if I do become muffled or anything like that. I will have the chat open. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this breadboard. Actually, no, I'm gonna take these eggs out. They should be fine now. Because what I'm thinking of doing is just putting this in the ground outside, or maybe leave it for the birds. Because birds know how to spread seeds. And hopefully we can grow our own peppers. I don't know. Let's see if nature will do its thing. That's about as much as I can get. Sorry about that. I just need to try this. There we go. So we're just gonna wait a couple of minutes for the butter to melt in there. I'm just gonna take this off and put this away for now, just so that we have more space. Then I'm gonna put the, so we're gonna put in the onions next. And then once that is done, then we're gonna put in the pepper. And then we're gonna start prepping our eggs and bacon. So yeah, um, let's just put that. Guys, my camera nearly fell. Oh my word, I caught it. I'm so glad I was standing behind it. And we're gonna put that there so you guys can see. There we go. Okay. See if the butter has melted. So the butter has like kind of melted, so I'm just like kind of spreading it everywhere like that. And then I'm just gonna put that down. We need new oven mitts. These oven mitts are finished. They are done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead put that in the oven. Wait, there's more onions in here. How is there so much onions in here? Hey, Aaron, did you just meow? Did you tell me to come here? Sweetie, I can't go to you. Come. Oh, look at that stretch. Hi. Are you meowing? Hey, Papa. Sorry, guys, I'm just giving Aaron some loves. He came to say hi again. Aaron! Hi, Papa. Hi. Nope. Okay, he's like, nope, not in the mood for a camera. He did. He went, He went, ah, ah, ah. He was so cute. I don't care if I diced it too finely. I need to wash my hands before I continue with food. And then we're gonna take the onions out and add in the peppers. His meow is not back to normal though. Damn it, the onions. I can take these goggles off. And I did not tear up. The goggles helped. I did not tear up. Even though I'm not actually wearing goggles, it's just my model. I did not tear up, guys. It was great. It was great. I think the thoughts of it helped. Okay. So I'm gonna let the peppers fry and then I need to deal with the bacons. Now, I just need to find our kitchen scissors because our kitchen scissors has this thing of constantly disappearing on us where when I need it, I can't find it. And whenever my gran needs it, she can't find it. So it's a constant thing in this house. Don't ask me how. For the last couple of days, it's been great because we found it when we needed it. But now it's gone. Oh, Granny, Granny, can you just get the kitchen scissors, please? Kitchen scissors on the bar counter. Okay, I found them. I just asked my gran if she could bring them to me. Okay. So I'm just gonna basically cut up this bacon. And yeah, I am gonna be using quite a bit of it, but I'm just gonna be cutting it up like this. And then there we got our bacon pieces. So that's how I'm gonna be cutting them up. So the bacon defrosted and we just like cutting it up into pieces. Ooh. And there we go. I think that's enough. Now I'm gonna go wash my hands again because I don't like bacon hands. I really don't. Okay, so with that being cut up, we're gonna go ahead, grab this the peppers and onions out of the oven and put the bacon in. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the scissors, move that, put that over there, move that out the way, put that over there, and move that out the way. And then I'm just gonna move that out the way as well. And I'm just gonna put this down because you don't want to put something hot on a cold surface. That's how things break. So we're just gonna put that down as a barrier. Okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and mix the bacon in. And the bacon needs to cook a bit. So while the bacon is cooking in the oven, we're going to go ahead and see to our eggs. So we're going to measure out the milk first. And because this is like cooking really, really fast by the looks of things, we're going to have to be a bit quick with this. So let's go ahead and put this back into the oven. Okay, so we got our measuring jug here. We're going to go ahead, fill that up with milk. Ooh, and not a lot of milk. Let's say 60. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, we can go ahead, crack our eggs in. Just gonna grab this and throw the eggshells in there. See, this is what I mean by the egg yolk sticking to the top of the shelf. It is like really, ugh, it's disgusting. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing one. Over there. Okay, guys, I'm not a slime kind of girl. I hate anything slimy on my hands. And bacon and eggs, like raw, is really slimy. And I don't like that feeling. It is so gross. Ugh. Okay, so we're going to put in some salt, some pepper, and then let's just read the rest of this salt and pepper. Okay, so we're just going to. Yeah, it just, no. I just don't like that feeling on my hands. I don't know why. But I like eating the stuff when it's cooked, so. And when I say cooked, I mean cooked. Okay, don't give me anything half raw. Okay, so there's that. So now we're gonna open up our parsley. I'm pretty sure there's a. I don't think we use the stems. I just think we use like the leaves. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some of the leaves in until I think it's enough. I think that should be fine. Let me just get rid of this stem. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And then we're gonna add in our grated Parmesan. Where's our there? And we're just gonna throw all of that in, guys. We're just gonna go ahead and throw all of that in. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix all of that in. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Okay, so I'm guessing we can take the dish out of the oven and throw that in. And if we do need to add more eggs or anything like that, you can. But let's go ahead and get that sorted. Okay, this is getting really hot to like kind of. So I'm just gonna go ahead and oh, did you guys hear that sizzle? Like there was a little bit of a sizzle as I'm busy mixing this. Okay, so let me take that off and just make sure that all of that goes in, just all. And then we just let this cook in the fridge. Oh, in the fridge, in the oven. So just make sure you just like mix everything. This is actually kind of looking nice, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Mm. Like so far, nothing has burnt, nothing has, because I think the last time I made this, our oven wasn't working. So I had to do it over the stove and it just didn't come out nicely. Like the bottom of the eggs were a bit burnt, the top of the eggs wasn't cooked properly. So I just like that we put all of this in the oven. Okay, okay, guys, so we're just gonna let that cook in the oven. So we got all our cheese. I'm guessing the mozzarella is what you use as a garnish for when. Yeah, so the mozzarella is used for afterwards, and then you can put some more parsley over that when it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tidying up here because you guys saw on Discord. I don't know if I put it on Twitter how messy the kitchen looked when I was done. So we're gonna try and keep our area clean. Okay. So it turned out we didn't need two of these. We only needed one of these. I wasn't sure, and that's why I got two. We're still gonna be using the mozzarella, so that's gonna stay out. Um, I'm not sure about parsley, but let's just leave it out for now in case I do change my mind. We use the scissors to cut the bacon, so that can go in there. We are no longer using the knife. That can go in the dustbin. That can go. That can go in the fridge. Hmm. I hope you guys are enjoying this stream because, like, wait, are you guys enjoying the cooking streams? Do you guys wish that I go back to arts? Like, what's happening? Oh, guys, tomorrow morning with the French toast, when we're busy eating the French toast and stuff like that, I will be doing Reddit retail reactions because Thursdays are my Reddit reaction days. And I know I haven't been posting every Thursday, but yeah, tomorrow morning I'll definitely be putting that up as well. Yes, that's good to know. Okay, guys, I have not. Look how much coffee I have left. Look at how much coffee I have left, guys. I can't wait until for this one tomorrow. French toast with berry compote and cream fraiche. Oof. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. And then next week we have buttermilk pancakes, scones. We have scones, yeah, scones. And then we've got chocolate muffins and cranberry and almond muffins. Oh, I didn't get almond, but you know what? We got cranberry. That's fine. We got homemade muesli and strawberry smoothie. So next week it's not so much cooking, it's more baking. I think the only cooking we're doing is the buttermilk pancakes. So this week was more cooking. Yeah, this week was more cooking than next week. Next week it's more baking. Mm. Okay, the eggs are baking nicely. What is your guys' favorite parts of these cooking streams so far? Because today's the third day that I'm doing this. So, just out of curiosity, what is your favorite parts of the cooking streams? I'm gonna hop into just chatting while we wait for the stuff to actually, you know what? I might do the Reddit reactions today. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Reddit reactions today. Because this stream is gonna be uploaded tomorrow, so it just makes sense that I do it today. Bless you. There we go. Let's look at Reddit reaction. So if to chat, if you haven't seen my Reddit reactions on YouTube, I highly suggest you go check it out because what I do on well what I try to do every Thursday, I read a retail story. I try and put myself in their shoes and I give my opinion on how I would have handled the situation and stuff like that. And then I would also rate it like do have an out of five rating thing depending on how dangerous the situation is to how wholesome the situation is. One being wholesome and five being, um, somebody's being rushed to hospital or the law gets involved or, something like that. But it's bad. You know it's bad. So yeah, so the first story we are looking at is my encounter with the Pyrogi Queen. Okay. This is from Throwaway 73829. And this is a long story, guys. This is a doozy of a story. I am gonna go check on the eggs before we get into this because whoo, this is a story and a half. Okay, it looks like the eggs are ready. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it rest in the oven because I already switched the oven off. I'm gonna let it rest in the oven for like 5 minutes and then we'll bring it out. I'll show you how it looks. And then when I go sit down and eat, I will take my whole setup to the dining room so that, we can continue looking at these Reddit retail stories. Okay, so my encounter with Pierogi Queen by Throwaway 73829. Um, hmm. Oh, um, I'm gonna make that. I'm just putting this there so you guys can see that I am reading from Reddit. I know you guys can't really see what I'm reading because of how tiny it is and how hidden it is behind the leaves. But I don't really guys want you to guys. The reason why I did it like that is so that in case you guys see my information, and I don't want anyone seeing my information. Anyway, okay, so I've been thinking a lot about this story lately, so I figured I'd post it somewhere to share the joy. For context, this was in the fall of 2020 or 21 when I had a short stint working retail before college. I worked in a small store that sold mainly branded frozen meals. The storefront itself was pretty small, and because it was specialized, business wasn't super heavy. So our checkout section consisted of a counter along the black wall, a space for employees to get to and from the break room, hallway, and the freezers. And then a second counter with a single cash register. There was usually only two of us working at a time, occasionally three. So when there were people in the store, one of us would be at the register while the other made sure the freezers were stocked. Okay, fair enough. I was at register waiting for the few customers we had to finish browsing when the front door literally slammed open. In comes short woman, probably in her 60s or 70s, holding a bag that was tied shut with a ponytail holder, okay? And already exuding a righteous fury. She stalks right up to the counter and slams the bag down to onto it. And I'm like, honestly, if somebody did that, I would be like, sorry, ma'am, can I help you? You kind of being a bit rude. Like, you don't just storm into a place and slam things on the counter. It's like, didn't anybody teach you manners, how to greet? Hi, how you doing? I have a problem with this. Like, nothing? Okay. The lady. I need a refund on this item. I cooked these pierogies for my family and they were rock hard and disgusting. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Let me double check the number on these so I can give you your refund. I grabbed the bag, which was already sweating, and tried looking for the product code. The bag was pretty crumbled after being torn open and aggressively retied. And after looking the whole thing over, I couldn't find it and assumed that it had gotten rubbed off at some point as some parts of the plastic were a little faded. I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't find the code on the bag. Let me just pull up the product on our system. Okay. Um, so before we continue reading, I'm going to go ahead and hop into gaming and I'm going to go sources. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to show you guys the eggs because it smells like it's done. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. There we go, guys. It looks like it's done. I accidentally touched one of the shells. Ow, and now my arm is kind of a little burning a bit. Did I burn myself? No, it's just a little tiny dot. It'll be fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna see. Okay, the top is still a bit runny, as you guys can see. So I think maybe just put it in the oven a little bit longer, just so this top can cook properly. And hopefully not burn our my arm again. But there you have it, guys. There is our dish for the day. So I can finally move this whole thing to the dining room and we can continue with our Reddit reactions. I'm going to go ahead and unplug my camera because we don't need that anymore. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Would you guys eat that? It looks so good, guys. I can't wait. And we do have tomato sauce. So if you guys do have, I know Americans call it ketchup. We call it tomato sauce. But if you guys do have that, you guys can, drizzle a little bit of that on top and stuff like that. Obviously, we still need to put in our mozzarella on top. But once we dish up for each other, once we dish up, then we can add like our own mozzarella if we want mozzarella. We can add tomato sauce if we want to add tomato sauce. So that is completely up to us. I don't think I'm going to add parsley as a garnish because there's enough parsley in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in the fridge. I'm also going to put the cheese back in the fridge. So there we go, guys. That is our eggs. And while I'm moving everything up, I am going to. Ooh, hoo hoo, How did that happen? No, 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 don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here for a bit and just read some of these stories. Oh my word, my computer has an update, guys. Okay. The lady huffed and grumbled, and I tried to put the name of the product into the POS system. Our system had been having issues pretty much since I worked here, with some items randomly not showing up or not showing the proper amount of stocked items. So it wasn't surprising when nothing came up upon typing in the name manually. At this point, a few of the customers who'd been browsing were starting to line up behind the lady, who was getting more visibly irritated the longer I took. And I was starting to panic. My coworker was in the freezer, oblivious to the situation. So, in a last ditch attempt to find the product codes, I told the lady to wait a moment and stepped out from behind the counter to try looking in the freezers for the product. hoping I'd be able to get the code from the price tag. The thing is, I kind of sucked at my job. We were expected to know exactly where every item was and were quizzed on it semi regularly by the manager. And for some reason, I just couldn't keep the items straight in my head. All I was thinking as I ran from freezer to freezer was how stupid I looked and that my manager was going to be on my ass again for not knowing that the homestyle tuna casserole was in the freezer beside the creamy hash brown casserole and for not being able to find these goddamned pierogies anywhere. Eventually, after looking in every single freezer and not seeing a single pierogi, I had to admit defeat. Every customer that had been browsing was now in the line, and the lady looked like she was about to explode. So I went back behind the counter, sweating and trying not to have a panic attack. I am so sorry, ma'am, but I can't find the product code for your item anywhere. Why do you need that stupid thing? Just give me my refund. I'm sorry, but without the code, I can't give you a refund. We have to input the code into the system in order for the machine to process. Let me speak to your manager. My manager isn't currently in the store, but I can then get him on the phone. At this point, thoroughly convinced that this is my fault, I ducked back into the employee hallway and grabbed the handset to call my manager. Ron, I was panicking and trying not to cry, and could hear the lady complaining to the people in line behind her from where I was standing. Hi, Ron. Sorry to bother you, but I have a woman here asking about a refund, and I can't find the product code anywhere on the bag or in the system. What is she trying to get refunded? It is a bag of pierogies, but the system is glitching again and it's not coming up, and I don't think we have any. Wait, pierogies? Yes. That can't be right. Company name hasn't manufactured pierogies in at least 5 years. I think I was genuinely struck dumb. On one hand, yay, this wasn't my fault. On the other, is there a woman in the next room seriously trying to refund a bag of pierogies from at the absolute least 5 years ago? Oh, wow. That stuff is off. No wonder why it tasted horrible. Ron told me to hand the customer the phone, so I went back out. She was still at the front of the line, with the dripping bag of pierogies still on the counter. After I gave her the phone, I grabbed the pierogies and put them on the back counter behind the register. I could ring up the next customer, or at least would have done if lady had moved. She was just standing there at the front of the line with at least four people in line behind her, yelling into the phone to my manager about his disrespectful employees and her unacceptable pierogies. It took the man in line behind her and my manager on the line both telling her to move for her to actually get out of the line and stand off to the side, still yelling. I quickly rung up the rest of the customers, apologizing profusely, but all of them were extremely nice about the situation and seemed more amused than anything. At some point, Pyrogi lady hung up, came back up to the counter, and slammed the phone down like she was trying to break it. By the time I'd finished with all the customers, she'd left, and the store was blissfully quiet once more. At some points, my coworker Sean had come out to help me finish bagging up the customers and switch me out at the register. I was about to head to the back to grab the jackets and gloves we used for stocking the freezers when I noticed something. Hey, Sean, where did you put the bag that was over here? What bag? That old bag of pierogies that lady brought in. Did you already throw it away? Oh, no, I think she took it. Oh my word, she's still walking around with a. At some point, while I'd been distracted, the lady had snuck behind the main counter, grabbed her bag of thawed, freezer burnt 5-year-old pierogies, and left with it, leaving nothing but a sad little puddle behind. Thank you for reading. If you've made it this far, I hope I did this story justice and managed to make it entertaining at the same time. I hated that job with burning passion, but I genuinely do enjoy customer service. Even through moments like this, I do have another story from that job that's completely different tone that I've been thinking about since. So maybe I'll post here someday too.
That is, ooh, wait, why did I downvote that? That is an interesting story. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so the thing with me is something I know that I would do. I would make, like, if I'm being quizzed regularly on what's in the freezers and where everything is and what stocks, what we stock and what we don't stock, I think I would have been more aware of this because when learning something new, I tend to pay attention and I tend to write things down. So that's just how I do things. And I would have told this lady, like, we haven't sold this for the past 5 years. We do not have this in stock. Of course, it's going to taste bad. It is 5 years old or older. It's not going to taste. It's not going to taste good, and you most probably freezer burned it. I would have most probably said that to the lady, and if she still fought with me, I would have phoned the manager and let the manager know what's going on, like she did. But yeah, I wouldn't have waited for the customer to tell me to phone the manager. Um, I would have just went ahead and phoned the manager and explained the situation. I would rate this like a 3 out of 5 because I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think, chats? What would you rate the story? Do you guys like the story? Let me know. I, I don't know. I don't know. So moving on to our next story. Before moving on to our next story, I'm gonna go ahead, check on the eggs, see if they are properly cooked now, and then we're gonna go ahead and have our breakfast. Breakfast is ready. Apparently, lunch and supper too. Oh, no, 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 not a problem. So, Granny, while Granny is sitting here in front and eating breakfast, really, Mumsy? I need to get a sad violin for this. Okay, thank you, Mumsy. So, Granny, what do you think of the breakfast so far? No, I'm talking about in the morning so far. Nice. That was an accident. Sure it was. Sure it was. So this doesn't really need any tomato sauce or ketchup. Angry Uncle Stinky! Hey, how you doing? We are eating breakfast and reacting to some r- retail stories. And today's breakfast, guys, if you put cheese on, you don't really need tomato sauce. Tomato sauce will be too much. Okay, here in South Africa, we call it tomato sauce. I know in America, you guys call it ketchup. We just call it tomato sauce because that's what it is. It's tomato sauce. It's a sauce made from tomatoes. Uh, okay. Yeah, we don't say ketchup. We don't say ketchup. But how you doing, angry Uncle Stinky? You doing good? Oh, um, Mr. Stinky. I think I'm just instead of saying that entire name out all the time. If you do want to catch up on the live streams, I am posting them up on YouTube, but they'll be posted up the next day. So today's one is going to be posted at midnight tonight, my time. So it's South African time, UTC +2. I don't know what time that will be for you. Ah, I see. Thank you, Mumsy. Wait, why isn't my you put in you Rube? Thank you, Mumsy. Wow, you Rube. Oh, that's not a good thing to avoid sleep. This tastes really nice. So far, this is my favorite breakfast. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the creamy eggs and bacon. That was very nice, simple, filling. I enjoyed the poached eggs yesterday, even though it was chaotic with the poached eggs, with the baguettes and the spinach and everything. The tomato relish was like the best part of it, like freshly made homemade tomato relish. That was the best part of yesterday's dish. We took the rest of the tomato relish and we made sausages with some potatoes and vegetables, and that was really, really nice for supper. So, yeah, but so far, up until this point, this is my favorite. This has to be like my favorite dish so far. Mm. But I am looking forward to tomorrow morning's breakfast because of the berry stuff. But I'm looking forward more to next week's breakfast. Hmm. Next week, it's mostly baking. Mm. Mm. Okay, I know I should be reacting to retail stories, but this is so good. This is so good. Guys, I don't know how long I had this dish in the oven for. I just kept checking in on it. I just kept checking to see if the top looked, cooked. And then when most of it was cooked, I turned the oven off and I just let the heat cook the rest of the egg, the rest of the dish. Mm. Guys, I am so happy. This tastes so nice. Mm. So, Mr. Stinky, quick question. Why do you need to go see the doctors? Like, is everything okay? Is it just a normal checkup or what's going on? Oh yes, guys, I do have merch. Go check out my merch store. Mm. Owie, I'm burnt. Burn, baby, burn. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our next Reddit reaction. This one is a short story, okay? I know it says medium here, but this is not a medium story. This is a short story. Yeah, so this is new to sub. Here's my worst story by Ducky Wacky. Oh, why did you go and do that? Guys, don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. Health is very important. And um I hope everything goes well with the doctors. I'm sorry, I got hiccups and burps like in between. Mm, okay. Okay, there we go. Now I can say what I meant to say. I hope everything goes well with the doctors. Please keep us updated. And if you need prayer, let me know. I'll pray for you as well. Sendosa! Hey, Sendosa! But yeah, I do hope everything goes well with the doctors. Anyway, moving on to Ducky Wacky's story. I found the sub and thought I should share the worst customer experience I've ever received because it's somewhat funny to me, but also quite serious. And I was also curious if anybody would have a similar experience. Not a problem, Sundosa, and I appreciate the lurk. So, for context, I work at a locally owned toy store. Guys, please use grammar and capitals and don't put everything in one sentence and with no, this is hurting my soul. Who taught you how to write? It's pretty big in my city and well known for being a dope toy store. And this story takes place in December. December has a capital letter, like a week away from Christmas. There's supposed to be a full stop there. And instead of saying so already, you can just say, already everybody is extremely on edge. Oh my word. You use the word because, not cuz. I'm just gonna continue reading this because if I have to go and be like, fix everything, it's just gonna make me mad. Anyway, everybody's extremely on edge because of how seriously busy it is. Naturally, a toy store during Christmas is wild. I mean, yeah. Look how she spelled I'm. That's not I'm, that's im. That's im. It's a capital I with an apostrophe and then an M. It's a- This is atrocious. Oh my word. I'm doing my thing, helping customers find toys for the holidays, blah, 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 whatever. Then this dude, probably aged 65 plus, grabbed me by the shoulders and started shaking me aggressively and yelling at me, asking if we had puzzle tables, which we totally did, but I had said no anyways because I wanted him to get the F out of the store and away from me. To which he did not care and kept shaking me, asking me about puzzle rolls and puzzle boxes and all the other forms of puzzle storages. I kept saying no and I start panicking because what the F? Then bro spits in my direction and mutters something in I have no idea what word that is and storms out after all my coworkers comforted me about it and said they would kick him out if he came back. But luckily he didn't, and the rest of the day was as normal as a toy store can be. Never normal. Sorry I wrote this weird, but it is nice to vent it out. I would like to know if anybody experienced similar to this and maybe what I can do in the future when dealing with customers approaching me like this. Knock on wood, I never have to, but you never know in retail. Okay, I would have called security, first of all, because why are you grabbing me and shaking me? You turn to the guy and it's like, sir, please take your hands off of me and I'll get somebody to help you because I will not be able to help the customer. You do not lie to a customer saying you don't have something that you have that you know you've got. You don't do that. So you're like, sir, can you please get your hands off me? I'll get somebody to help you. And then I'll go and find a male colleague to deal with this customer. And I would inform the security about what happened so they can keep an eye out in case something else happens. But you don't lie to people. I'm sorry, I no, you don't lie to people. I get that you want them out of the store, and I understand that. But you lying to him and he kept shaking you, asking the same thing, you essentially made the situation worse. But I would have called security. So when security came up and said, sir, can you please get your hands off me? I'll get somebody to help you. Or I would ask the security to remove the gentleman from the store. that's how I would have handled the situation. But because of how dangerous the situation is, like nobody ended up in hospital and stuff like that, but there was still assaults. I would rate this a 4 out of 5 because the reason why I say 4 out of 5 is and not a 5 out of 5 because nobody ended up in hospital or nobody ended up in handcuffs. So this is a 4 out of 5 for me. What do you guys think? How would you have handled the situation? What would you have done if this was you, and how would you rate this situation? Am I being fair in my assessments or am I being unfair? Let me know. Well, thank you, Dakiwaki, for your story. Moving on to our third story. Actually, let me wait for chat to say something. Oh, I forgot my coffee in the. It's most probably cold by now, but I forgot my coffee. I'm gonna go fetch my coffee. Coffee, coffee. It is the worst case scenario, that one. Okay, but like this is what I'm asking. Am I being fair in my assessments of how I would have handled the situation, or am I being unfair? Because when she said no, they don't have, knowing that they do have, and he kept asking for the same thing, she essentially made the situation like essentially makes the situation worse because now he's being more aggressive, which is making the situation more dangerous. That's just how I'm reading into it. So like I said, I would have called security, and when security got there, I would have been like, sir, can you please get your hands off of me? I'll get somebody else to help you. Then I would have gone to like the back office or wherever, I would have gone to the office, or I would have gone to the stock room, or wherever it is retailers go for lunch, and I would have stayed there until the situation would have been handled with the gentleman. I don't know, but like I do think lying to a customer is not, it's like, and the customer's already being that aggressive, and when you said no, he becomes more aggressive. It just, for me, it reads, obviously she didn't know that he would be more aggressive. She thought he would just let her go and walk away. I can see it from that point of view, but in I'm just looking at hindsight and 2020. Like I'm just like looking at it from a hindsight, how to deal with it if it ever happens again. Let me know. Like what do you guys think? What do you guys think? If it happens again, would you guys handle the situation? Would you have handled it differently? How would you have gone about it? Am I being fair? Am I being unfair? Like a 5 out of 5 situation for me, Mumsy, is the story where you told me where that teenager got badly injured in the parking lots at your workplace, and ambulance had to show up and rush him to the hospital. That for me is a 5 out of 5 because now somebody's seriously injured. Now, and then also the police got involved, and so it was a very serious situation. Yes, this is a serious situation. That's why I'm rating it a 4 out of 5 and not a, oh, okay, this includes blood and broken bones. Like it's not that severe. So yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we got another long story by Throwaway 73829. Hi all, I had a lot of fun writing my last post and thought I would share another of my few retail stories here. Quick disclaimer that this happened years ago and chronic illness brain fog has stolen some of the specifics, but I'm going to try to be as accurate as possible and promise I won't embellish. Okay. If I'm remembering correctly, this actually happened around the same time as my last story. It was close to Canadian Thanksgiving, and as per usual in the city I lived in at the time was absolutely chucking buckets outside. We'd had the usual pre-holiday rush of people looking at art buy stuffing and sides earlier. Okay, looking at to buy stuffing. Oh, okay. So the OT needs to be swapped around. Looking to buy stuffing and sides earlier. But as the rain started and the sun set, the customers dwindled, and by the time my shift was almost over, the store had been empty for almost an hour. Like in my last story, I was the only one at the front while my coworkers stocked the freezers and broke down boxes. I just finished doing the cleaning and temperature checking walk through and was wasting time at the register. I hated going into the freezers and was about to cut my losses and actually do some work when a girl ran in from the rain. Immediately added a mental fist pump because any excuse to keep me out of those Forsaken Freezers was a win for me. And I hung around at the register while she browsed the single serving meals. Now, I may have hated that job, but those single services saved my life the whole time I was employed there. So I considered myself a bit of an expert. Despite the fact that my gay white ass only ate like the same three over and over. Okay. Eventually, the girl comes to check out, and I make some light small talk with her while I ring her up. That was probably my favorite part of the job. I'm autistic and can sometimes be a bit awkward, but I genuinely loved small talk with customers and just chatting and being pleasant. She seemed a little self conscious, and I just told her how much of those single serve meals I ate myself, complimenting her choices. When I was done ringing her up, she asked if she could stay in the store while she waited for her bus, instead of waiting in the rain and cold, and I told her of course. We kept talking, chatting about the upcoming holiday and break from school. She told me that she wasn't really looking forward to it. All of her friends were going home for the holiday, but her family was back in her home country. So she was going to be all alone in the dorms eating overpriced single first serve frozen meals. I could empathize in a way, with my family being across the country. Obviously, not the same thing, but still. And said I'd probably be eating alone during Thanksgiving too. We talked about phone and video calls, and she said, I love being able to talk to them, but it's not really the same. Sometimes I just want a hug, you know? Okay. Now, again, while I love customer service, I'm generally a pretty awkward person. I'll say things without even realizing I was thinking them. I'm also a people pleaser and fixer. Yeah, that's not healthy, sweetie. You are too naive and no, which can cause some issues. And when a problem is presented, I usually try to fix it or offer solutions before just like listening. So when she said that, I had about a split second impulsive thoughts of, oh, I see the problem. I know how to fix that. And without even thinking, just blurted, do you want a hug? Immediate foot in the mouth. Oh my word, guys. Mumsy, why does this sound like something you would do? Sorry guys, I'm just plugging my charger in. My battery's like kind of going flat. Ooh. All night long, all night, all night. Fiesta forever, singing all night long. Fiesta forever, singing all night long, all night, all night, night long, all night, all night, night long. Not really, but thanks for the voice of confidence. I'm talking about putting your foot in your mouth, but anyway, for a tiny bit of context here, at the time I was pretty much the definition of a butch lesbian appearance wise. I feel like a lot of queer women or female presenting people will relate to the dissonance of interacting with other women platonically while secretly worrying it will be taken the wrong way. A lot of us have gone through that awkward situation of friends distancing themselves after coming out because I don't want you to hit on me, and the way it taints casual interactions with other women going forwards. I'm still working through that sort of internalized homophobia stuff. And at the time, it was a lot worse than it is now. So you can imagine the sort of panic I immediately went through. Despite being a completely impulsive thought and entirely platonic, my mind was racing like, oh my, I just said something creepy. This poor girl is pouring her heart out to me, and I just said that. Looking like this, oh no, she's gonna think I'm hitting on her. I ha- I've ruined this woman's day. Would you? The internal monologue stopped. She was looking at me sort of cautiously, but not like she was thinking any of the things I was worried she was. I'd been just about to backtrack and apologize, but instead I just sort of nodded and was like, yeah, of course. So I stepped out from behind the counter and gave her a proper hug. And as stupid as it sounds, I tried to put genuine feeling into it. I wanted to make her feel better. I didn't know if I'd be able to make the situation better at all. But damn it, I was gonna try. Okay, I don't overthink like this when I give a hug, when I hug someone that really needs a hug. I don't. Okay. Afterwards, I went behind the register and she lingered at the counter. I was still minorly freaking out, but everything seemed to be fine. After a few moments, she said that she had to go. Her bus was about to arrive and she'd have to wait 20 minutes if she missed it. I told her to take care and wished her a happy Thanksgiving. Just at the door, she paused, turned around. We were both masked, but her eyes sort of smiled at me. I hope I'll see you here again. And just like that, she was gone. I sometimes still cringe at myself and my awkwardness, and sometimes still worry about that this stranger thought I was some sort of weird, creepy lesbian. But at the same time, thinking about that day makes me feel sort of warm inside. We were just two strangers, both in a place we were unfamiliar with and feeling alone on a day marketed on family togetherness, and just had a really human interaction. I hope she finished school and was able to find other people in her life to lessen the homesickness. She seemed so genuine and kind hearted, and I truly wish her the best, even though I never saw her again. Or because it was, I don't. That, you see, I normally tell people not to overthink things, but that's just because I don't try and overthink things. I don't always get it right. I mean, this past week I've been overthinking everything, and it's been mentally exhausting. And I understand. I'm starting to understand more and more why people overthink things. But before, I never really overthink things. Somebody needed a hug, I gave them a hug. If I had to do something, I did it. I don't really see the point in overthinking things. It's you causing yourself so much stress, you're causing yourself so much anxiety, and for what, you know? Um, but like I understand why people do it. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think overthinking things is worth it. It's just I guess it's difficult to find that balance, I guess is what I'm saying. It's difficult to find that balance between overthinking and thinking things through. Um, but when you start overthinking, you become more stressed, you become more anxious, and I think that's when you need to stop thinking about the situation and you need to take a step back and take a deep breath and be like, okay, and maybe start sort something else out, maybe sort something else out in the meantime and stuff like that, and then go back to the situation you were overthinking because you might just find a solution or maybe just sit down and be quiet for like I don't know 30 minutes to an hour and the solution will genuine normally will come to you. So that is something that I've also learned recently. So guys, if you start overthinking things and you become stressed out and anxious about things, try to step away from the situation and look at it from an outsider's perspective and just sit in quiet when you can for about 30 minutes to an hour and you'll be fine. You will generally be fine. But anyway, that's my opinion. Again, chat, what do you think? Do you think I'm being too naive? Do you think I'm being too gullible? And how would you have handled this situation? Let me Okay, so we've got Random Man 123 with anti self checkout guy who's just so over the top. I don't know why I said it like that. I work in a small store. Wait, did I upvote this? Because if I don't upvote, then I don't know what stories I've done. Let me just upvote that. I work in a small store that has self checkouts and regular cashiers for what it's worth. The company I work for is super cheap, and oftentimes the cashiers still need to step away briefly to fix an aisle or help a coworker. That guy was me today, and I needed to clean up a spill that was 3/4 down an aisle. So a bit of a wait, so a bit of a piss off, but whatever. As I'm doing that, a 40-ish-year-old guy signals me to cash and has two small containers in his hands. I didn't want to open the cash because I don't want a long line forming, so I decided I'd take him on the self checkout, but I'd just do it for him while he just stands pretty beside me. Simple, right? Nope, he vehemently says no to self, even with him having to do nothing, and that it's his freedom of choice to choose what he wants. You cannot force a customer to do something they don't want to do. I'm one of those customers that I will refuse a self checkout. It annoys me. I do not go to the shops to do a self checkout. If I wanted to do self checkouts, I'll order online. Thank you very much. Um, I go to the shops because I want to say hi to people. Just like don't put me on self checkouts. I will. No, no, no. We've got enough technology at home. We don't go to the shops to deal with more technology. We want some human interaction. Even with him having to do nothing and that it's his freedom of choice to choose what he wants, right? As he says that. I just sighed and said, whatever, man. Took him on cash. I bit my tongue because I wanted to call him over dramatic. But I told him that people are gonna use it regardless if you try to make a statement. And he replied with the, oh well, it's my freedom of choice. I genuinely cannot believe these chronically online Facebook people exist in the real world because my God, so overdramatic and corny. No, no, I'm sorry. This retailer was in the wrong. This retailer was in the wrong because why are you trying to force something on a customer that the customer is not comfortable with? And then you want to gaslight the customer and say he's being overdramatic and he's being chronically ill online and stuff like that. If he doesn't want to do self checkouts, then he doesn't want to do self checkouts. What is your problem? Just because you don't want to do your job does it does not make it the customer's problem. Just because there's a part of your job that you don't like, that irritates you, and you don't want to deal with, that is your problem. That is not the customer. Do not put that on the customer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with this one. You know. No, like I don't, and like everybody is bagging on this customer in the comment section, and I'm just like, but that's not the point. The point is the customer didn't want to do something he was not comfortable with, and because he wasn't comfortable with it, you tried to force him into a situation that he wasn't comfortable with. I don't think this was about him making a statement. I don't think this was about him saying, I'm making a statement. I don't want to. There are people out there who don't like self checkouts. They have enough TVs at home, they have enough computers at home, and sometimes they just want to break off from it. Or maybe they were raised in a generation where human interaction is normal. Like I can't put a self checkout in front of me. I will break it. I don't care. I'll go to court for it. I think I'm getting too heated about this, and I think the reason why I'm getting too heated is because of the amount of gaslighting this person is putting on this customer. Like you gaslighting a customer, and you want to make the customer feel guilty because you don't want to do a job that you're not comfortable, a job that you don't like. When it's part of your job, it is part of your job to do that. If a customer chooses not to do self checkout, it is part of your job to assist the customer. It's called customer service. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, I'm getting so mad. I'm getting so mad. I want to put something in the comments, but I just, but I can't. I can't. I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on, guys. I'm just gonna move on. Let me know what you guys think of that one because that one really, really got underneath. That one really got underneath my skin. Okay, so we've got no pomegranate 4794. Yeah, that's not money. So I got a small part-time job and like most retail stores, one of okay, wait, you know what? I'm not even gonna upvote this. I'm not even gonna upvote. I'm gonna downvote this. Oh no no no! Like okay, so great. I don't know how long you've been here. So this customer walks into the store and he doesn't want to use self checkouts, and this retailer is trying to get this guy to use self checkouts when he doesn't want to use it at all. He doesn't want anything to do with it, and now he's trying to gaslight the customer for not wanting to use self checkouts and calling him chronically ill, and it's just like it just makes me so mad. It just makes me so mad. And the only reason why this retailer didn't want to deal with a cash register is because he it was a part of his job that he found annoying. I'm sorry, in every single job that you do, there are going to be parts that you don't like, but you're just going to have to deal with. You don't get to gaslight people because you don't like that part of your job and you don't want to deal with that part of your job. Now it's the customer's problem. Ooh. Okay, well, I am going to be posting this on YouTube if you want to go check it out. But I'll read the story again, Gray, and you can give me your opinion. So, this guy works in a small store that has self checkouts and regular cashiers. For what it's worth, the company I work for is super cheap, and oftentimes the cashier still needs to step away briefly to fix an aisle or help a coworker. Fair enough. That guy was me today, and I needed to clean up a spill that was 3 quarters down an aisle. So a bit of a piss off, but whatever. As I'm doing that, a 40-ish year old guy signals me to cash and has 2 small containers in his hand. I didn't want to open the cash because I don't want a long line forming, so I decided I'd take him on self checkout. So the retailer didn't want to do his job. That's what I'm reading here, but I just do it for him while he just stands pretty beside me. Simple, right? Nope. He vehemently says no to self, even with him having to do nothing, and that it's his freedom of choice to choose what he wants. The customer in this case is right. Right, as he says that, I just sighed and said, whatever, man. Took him on cash. I bit my tongue because I wanted to call him over dramatic. He's not being over dramatic. You just don't want to do your job. But I told him that people are going to use it regardless if you try to make a statement. That is their choice. And he replied with, oh, well, it is my freedom of choice, which, again, the customer is right in this case. And then he continues to gaslight this customer. I genuinely cannot believe these chronically online Facebook people exist in the real world. Because he didn't want to deal with the job, because he didn't want to deal with more customers when he's in a customer service industry. It doesn't, I can't. If you don't want to deal with customers, then go work somewhere where you don't have to deal with customers. Oh my word. Because they're so overdramatic and corny. And he's still trying to friggin' gaslight the customer because he didn't want to do his job, or he didn't want to do a part of his job that he didn't like. But it's part of his job. I just, I think it's the gaslighting for me that's got me so riled up. I think it's just the gaslighting for me that's got me so riled up. Gray, what do you think? What do you think? Am I being overdramatic? So, anyway, oh, can we please get a shout out for Gray? We're going to move on to the last story for today. If you work in retail, there is a honeymoon period where you are so happy to have the job and think you'll be the best person that customers will love. Then you have the realization of what retail is, and you're like, this. That is true. Like when I worked retail, there were parts of my job that I didn't like, and there were parts of my job that I loved. Like I loved taking stock. I loved um packing the shelves. I loved dealing with customers, and it's not all the customers. I love being on cash outs. I hated the busy days. The busy days is what got me. When things were so busy that you had like barely any time to sit for anything. And on one of these busy days, my phone actually got stolen. It got stolen out of my pockets. My jewelry got stolen, like because I had a ring from my ex, and I think, yeah, I had a ring on my neck from my ex which I was wearing on my finger, and that got stolen. So yeah, busy days, I don't like busy days, and even to this day I get, now this has got nothing to do with what happened that day. This, I've been dealing with this for as long as I can remember. When in a crowded space, I get panic attacks. I get anxious, and it's very difficult for me to breathe, and I need to get out of that. I need to get out of there as soon as possible. It just feels like the walls are closing up on me, and I get extremely claustrophobic in heavy crowded areas. So I think that's why I like going to shops when it's quiet, because you got space to move around, you got space to do things and stuff like that. Whereas if we go at the end of the month, it's very difficult for me to cope with. Thank you. I'm not being unreasonable here. That I'm not being social or talkative because I'm concentrating on the problem. Exactly. Even if I'm muting the person on the other end. you see, like if you don't like it, then don't deal with it. But don't gaslight the customers for asking you to do your job. Like, don't gaslight the customers and drag their name through the mud. Okay, yeah, he didn't give this guy's name, but drag them through the mud because you didn't want to do an aspect of a job that you don't like, because you didn't want to deal with more customers. That like grinds my bones. This is not on the customer. This is 100% on random guy, the retailer person. So yeah, that is my verdict of that. Honestly, I don't know how I would have handled that situation if I were to witness this. If I was the customer, I don't know how I would have handled the situation. But yeah, I don't know. How would you guys have handled this situation? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, because Mumsy was in South Africa for Comic Con, and Mumsy, myself, my brother, and Roboto went to Comic Con together. Well, to be fair, Roboto only came the one day, the Saturday, because he came the Friday, and then the Saturday it was so hectic. And Mumsy and my brother witnessed me having a near breakdown because of how crowded Comic Con was. Yeah, you see, Gray, that's okay. I don't agree with gaslighting the customers, but I don't agree with gaslighting the customers. I am a little bit irritated that you gaslight your customers, but I understand, like, I don't understand anything about IT. So when I came to you for help, I was like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I would rather ask you questions because I know how, because you know IT. I would ask you, like, I would rather ask you, like, hey, listen, how do you set this up? How do you deal with this? Da, 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 da. I'd rather ask you. And if it's something like, you know what, let me just do it for you, then I'll be like, okay, cool. But I will still ask, like, what is happening? What does this do? What does that do? So, yeah. Oh, nice. What's a supernova? I've heard it before, but like, is it like an event or like, anyway, while you answer that question, I'm gonna go ahead and read the last story. So I got a small part-time job, and like most retail stores, one of the managers is kind of a dick. Okay, that's nice to know. Well, the other day he called me into the office and said I was in trouble for missing a meeting I was scheduled for. I'm utterly shocked because I pride myself on being the best employee I could be. I apologize and tell him I was unaware of being scheduled for a meeting. He's got this haughty attitude that is so annoying, and it is taking all I can to remain professional. He tells me that I need to do better at looking at the schedule. So our schedules are posted on a group through the team apps. I pull up the meeting schedule, read it over, and look at my boss and go, my name is not on the list. There's a hint of anger in his face, but the superiority takes another step up. He says, well, I didn't use your nickname when making the schedule. You should do better at reading the schedule because not everyone is going to accommodate your nickname. Which raises my anger to another level because of the disrespect of going out of your way to not use my nickname, knowing full well It's what everyone calls me, and one of the main reasons I use it is because my real name is so long and people mispronounce it. Literally, everyone else uses my nickname. It is on my name tag. It is even in the system as my nickname. The only paperwork that doesn't have my nickname was my paycheck. I look back at the schedule and with all of the rage bottled up, I go, yeah, I understand that my name's still not on it. Okay. He decides to pull the schedule up on his computer and shows it to me with all the confidence in the world, pointing at a name and going, it's right here. I look at the computer, then at him, and go, yeah, that's not my name. All of the vibrato and superiority drop, and his face goes flat. That's not your name? No, it's not. So not only did he not know my name, he used a different coworker's name. So he scheduled someone else for a meeting that they probably didn't even need to be in. We just stare at each other for a few moments and I ask if I can go. He said yes, but before I left, I asked him if I was still in trouble or if he was going to write me up, because I would be happy to dispute this with the head supervisor if you think I still deserve a write up. He responds with the quickest of no's and I leave. Yeah, I still told the supervisor I'm not sure if he got to talking to or reprimand, but he sure as heck started using my nickname. Bravado, not vibrato. But I refuse to change it in the original post because I think that mistake is funny. Okay, fair enough. I actually like the story. I like how she handled the situation. I would name this a 3 out of 5 because this could have gotten a bit dicey. But yeah, no, I think she handled the situation perfectly, or he, because she didn't, or they didn't really put the gender here. So, yeah, no, I think this was handled perfectly. I would rate this a 3 out of 5. What do you guys think of this situation? With you, it was fixing something with customers that ask for things when they clearly don't need care to upkeep the stuff they are asking for. I will gaslight them like crazy. Okay. Supernova is the biggest pop culture expo in Aussie, was a huge this time, and I volunteer twice a year. Oh, that's awesome. How did that go? Great. Did that go well? But yeah, guys, that is that for our retail stories this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakfast stream today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the retail reactions. Greystar, let me know if you want to continue this conversation in Discord. You can let me know how Supernova went. But I think I'm gonna end stream here because I do need to give Aaron his medicine, and also there's an update that I need to go ahead and sort out. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and we are gonna raid Mumsy. You know what? Let's go ahead and raid Mumsy. Let's go ahead and raid Mumsy. Bye. Guys, please stick around for the raid. I would really appreciate it if you were to stick around for the raid. And I shall see you guys tomorrow morning with our French toast and berry compote. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, until tomorrow morning around 9 a.m., I'm going to go ahead and say bye, my couplings.